All right, so let's take a look at what we got here. I was already in here a little earlier poking around. We came across a few things. Danny's over here checking out this outlet. What do you got there, Danny?
Yeah, so we got 120 coming in. We just have an issue here with grounding since it's old cloth wiring, no ground installed.
Yep.
We have to ground all these outlets out for them.
Well, yeah, so it's got EMT coming up. Probably it's just stubbed up through the joist with EMT because the cloth wire is going to go underneath. This house looks like it was knob and tube at one point. It still may be. Sometimes what they'll do is they'll just sleeve the knob and tube as it comes up through the tie beam or the joist on the foundation there. But the problem with this is there's no ground. So essentially, if you take a peek here, you can see that would have nothing going to it. It's supposed to have a wire going right here to this green screw. It does not have that. This is a self-grounded outlet. You see this little brass plate here? That is for having a self-grounded outlet to the box, but the box has no relationship to ground. Neither does the ground screw or the self-grounding part of the outlet. So there's going to be no relationship to ground associated with this outlet whatsoever. You can plug in, you know, a three-prong outlet, but the grounding portion of that outlet is not going to be providing that safety measure that is required by code and is definitely going to be something that's going to prevent injury or potentially fire or many things. The ground is what tells the breaker essentially, or lets the overflow go back to the panel and overloads the breaker. So it's going to prevent any sort of issues from coming up in the future. It's going to be something that you're going to want to have. Yeah, so it's definitely something we're going to bring to the attention of the homeowner and let him know that this is something that we should take care of. If you want to follow me. So we already looked at some of these outlets already and confirmed that they don't have a ground, but I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what it looks like with the plug tester when we, oh, the circuit's actually off. Danny, is this circuit off? All right, so if you look here, the red fault is on and it's blinking and it says open ground. So we have 120 volts between the two prongs, but an open ground. So that's what you see frequently in these older homes built, you know, this house was built in the 40s, I believe, and you'll see that frequently if there's not been an extensive rewire or upgrade. You'll frequently see no ground ran to the outlets. You know, it's not surprising necessarily a house of this age to see that, but it's something that needs to be taken care of at some point to prevent any sort of injury or loss of property damage or anything like that. So it's something we're going to bring up again, like I said. If you want to follow me over here to the panel, Danny was just starting to open that up. This is not a correct panel screw. Jeez. Okay. Looks like we got some kind of a rodent home in here, potentially. All right. See if anybody's home. Knock, knock. That'd be great for YouTube if a mouse shot out and hit me right in the face. Something lives in here, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, that knockout in the back is wide open.
Right here? Yeah, that's where it's... There's, yeah, there's like a, there's a 1-inch knockout, or that's a 3/4 knockout open up there. There's a lot of copper exposed there. That lug seems a little loose. We have a double tap right here on this side. So there's a double tap here and a double tap there. I don't know what this little surprise right here is, at least they stripped the end of it. Would you happen to have a wire nut handy, Danny? So you can see there's some new Romex here. If you can peek between the wall there's a little bit of Romex. There's some 12-2 coming in there, 12-2 coming in there. That's probably from like the kitchen remodel whenever that took place. Get that wire nutted off just for. And then look right here. You can see whatever rodent is making his home. You can see he chewed the sheeting off of this neutral here, that 12-wire neutral. There's quite a bit of chewed wires. Oh.
That's the main ground from outside.
Yeah, if you want to come on this side again, I can show you right here. The number 4 solid bare ground is not landed on anything. If you want to make a note of that too, Danny. The number 4 solid ground, that should be going to a ground bar, because the first means the disconnect is outside. So here's the grounding, and then this is the neutral bar here. So this number 4 solid should be going to that ground bar right there. I mean, first you'd have to excavate underneath the rodent home and then swoop sideways back into the ground bar. Bow. But yeah, this is not ideal. We would want to make sure there's no other chewed wires like that. But it could be anything. It could be a squirrel, any number of mammalian creatures could make a home like that. So yeah, it's always fun to find a surprise when you open a panel. It's not the worst panel. It's definitely jammed full. It's 100 amp square D QO. The way that you can tell, is the clear window. I always tell people that are learning, the only one that has this little clear window on it that shows, it's an indicator for when the breaker's tripped, it'll be orange. The only one that has that clear window is a square D QO. So yeah, and this is a 100 amp, like I said, 100 amp main breaker. Well, the main breaker's outside. It's a 200 amp main breaker. This is going to be the sub panel feed disconnect, which this isn't even actually required here. There's a breaker outside that could disconnect this sub panel. So this 100 amp breaker, which actually goes all the way across here, is redundant. It is nice to have if you ever had any kind of an emergency. You could just come here and boop, turn that off, and it would kill everything inside the home. But yeah, we'll move it along. And one other thing I wanted to point out is, like I said, there was a partial renovation done to the kitchen area here. So there's GFI outlets installed, and everything seems to be correctly done as far as that goes. And there's actually an in-law apartment I'll take you over and show you over there that we wanted to look inside the panel as well. It's always important to close up your panel when you go to walk away from it. You never know, like there could be a kid nearby or something any number of things. A couple other points too that I forgot to mention. This panel's in the kitchen, which isn't ideal at all. I'd prefer to have it somewhere else. Another one is this is the height of these breakers is too high. I believe I don't like to see breakers any higher than 6'1" but I think you can go up to 6'7" if I'm not mistaken in the code book. But I like to try to keep them below 6'1" to make it readily available for people that are not necessarily as tall as others. And you never know who's going to want to be the one turning off a breaker in a dangerous situation. So it's keeping it top breaker at about this height, so the rest are in this range here. That's going to be what I like to see when I put in a new panel. Another cool feature is this is before the air conditioning in this area was more commonly and widely installed. They had these fans here. It's kind of like got a mosquito. I don't think there's some that have a swamp cooler feature with water, but this one just has a big fan that these louvers all open up when you turn it on. And boy, is it, if you ever seen one of those on, they move quite a bit of air. They'll slam every door in the house at once if you have the doors open. So what they're meant to do is at night when it's cool out, we're kind of near the ocean right now. We're maybe about a mile as the crow flies from the ocean. And at night, you know, even in the summertime, there is a cool breeze off the ocean. So they used to take advantage of that by opening up, you know, windows and sometimes doors, which you'd have to prop them open with something. And then you kick that bad boy on in the evening and take advantage of that cool ocean breeze, and then close close everything up before the next morning. And you know, these are all concrete walls, so they would soak up that cool temperature. And if you had some mature trees over the house to kind of keep the sunlight off, it would do a lot in the way of keeping the home relatively livable in the hot summer days where you're approaching and exceeding 100 degrees in some cases. Especially with the humidity index, you're definitely going to feel hotter than 100 degrees. So we can take a walk over if you want to follow me real quick. We're going to go and check out the other side. I'm going to steal Danny's screwdriver. One thing I wanted to point out, we do have a ground going in to the kitchen area, so that's more than likely going to be our water bond. Actually, this is the laundry room. So this is more than likely going to be the ground for the water bond. However, within 4 feet of entering the home, you need to have a jumper between your ground and your water bond and your water pipe and your gas pipe. All right. One other thing that Danny had mentioned, which is definitely something to consider, is this job is going to be predominantly done from underneath. This is a crawl space. A lot of these older homes, that's how they did it. Modern homes have what are called monolithic slabs, which is concrete right on top of the dirt. Older houses have this crawl space underneath to access a lot of the things like electrical and plumbing and stuff like that, drain. So there's benefits and drawbacks from it. So not an ideal situation, having to be on the ground, crawling hands and knees all day, but it's something that needs to be done, and at the end of the day, we'll always get it done. We have the panel. One interesting fact is FPL no longer allows us to install these collared meter rings because I guess it's when they're pulling off they unscrew this and when they go to pull the meter off, they can't see if there's like a broken section behind the panel cover. So a lot of times what's happening is, you know, there's a melted piece behind here. They open this up, they pop the meter off, the FPL technician, and he's breaking loose the live feed coming from the transformer, and which is all behind here. So when this collar comes off, you pop it off, and now it breaks behind where you can't see and shorts out and does a big light show, and you know, it can get worse than that, you know, depending on what the electrician is touching and that type of thing. So that's why they outlawed these just this year, and it's not a code, it's a municipal type thing where the local utility company no longer wants to see these types of meter rings, and you know, we've gotten whacked with it a couple times right when they first implemented it. You know, we had jobs that were already partially installed, and you know, and then when the inspection happened, FPL wanted us to change it out again. So anyway, but you know, I definitely see the safety concern that they have there, and we comply with it 100%. Gonna take a peek inside here. I already had a look inside this one. Not bad. A lot of corrosion. Like I said, we're near the ocean, so corrosion's to be expected. I told the homeowner that we probably are going to want to see this get replaced at some point because you're going to find out the hard way in the middle of the night that there's an issue. So it's better safe than sorry, and you know, put it in the budget somewhere for down the line to go ahead and get this taken care of. This is a General Electric 200 amp meter main combo panel, and this is, like I said, the feed to the inside. This is the 100 amp feed for the inside panel. I think this is for an AC unit. So yeah, one point Danny brought up that was interesting was this ground wire. We didn't see it in the panel. I can check back either in the footage or open it back up, but I didn't notice that number 6 ground either. So that's something we would want to take a look at. one other thing that I was saying just a second ago as well is having Romex sleeve through half-inch or any conduit like this greater than 24 inches is not acceptable. It's a code violation because it heats. It's an extra layer of insulation, and it's the sleeve up to 24 inches. Anything beyond that, and it's a raceway, and that's not allowed. So, but we're gonna go ahead and hop over on the other side here and take a look at the other service to the in-law apartment. A couple things there I wanted to show you guys. This is a modification, if you were wondering, but I understand why they put this here. There's some areas that are nearby that aren't great neighborhoods, so but this is a nice neighborhood that we're currently in. It's like the historical section. This is a mango tree, a baby mango.
Prized mango tree.
A prized mango tree?
Oh yeah,
Is it good?
that's really good.
Oh, so
Coming into its own right now.
nice.
Pretty good here.
They're small though.
They're young. They come a little later.
Okay. Well, the neighbor says it's a prized mango tree.
That's probably why you can't cut it down.
First, and then this one comes in about a month and a half later.
Nice.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, thank you.
Are you coming to place?
No, we're just electricians taking a peek around.
Okay.
You'll hear me talk to myself from time to time, so
Oh, that's all
don't be alarmed. This is flashing. I think it's roofing flashing, as a matter of fact. So obviously that's not ideal. I may have this back at the office at the warehouse. So again, this is another ring type meter can. So the best case scenario would be we could just pop in another, have the exact same. This is GE 125 meter main combo panel. So I probably have that. No, I'll take a peek around. Now, one thing I wanted to show you real quick is this is a Siemens breaker in a GE panel. So that's not great. This is a little bit of an older breaker there. So, again, corrosion is to be expected. Not a surprise there. This is the feed going into the house through this LB right here. We did follow this number 4 right here. That goes down to, there's the first ground rod. And then 6 feet later, or greater than 6 feet, which is even better, we have the other ground rod. There is a water bond, so that's good. Oh, the water bond. Yeah, the water bond continues on. This is it right here. Is there a hose bib or something, or?
Yeah, it's right there in your face, right against
Oh, yeah. On this little bush here, you can see the ground wire right there. For the ground clamp. So the water bond is good. Here's the panel here. I haven't had a chance to look in this one yet. Is there a light in here, Danny?
Yeah.
Thank you. Let's see what we got. You guys are getting a real-time inspection. So this is cloth wire here, and this one does have the ground. It's a little bit later. This must have been built a little after the other structure because it has the 18. See, this is 12 gauge wire and it has an 18 gauge ground accompanying it inside the wire. This is probably around the 50s was when this was starting to be used. This here is to join this neutral bar across here, but because this is not first means of disconnect, the electrician correctly removed it, and they have a bonding screw right here, this green screw. You see that screw goes through this neutral bar into the back of the panel, bonding this bar to make it common with the housing, the cabinet itself. So all the grounds are located on this side, all the neutrals are located on this side. There are some multi-wire branch circuits here, like this 2-pole 20 amp, where they phased this white 12 gauge to go under a 2-pole 20. Same deal here. So yeah, that's what that is. And then other than that, it looks good. Missing a knockout here. Some like this is like old entrance cable where the it's tinned copper, Tinned, tinned copper, that wraps around the load bearing conductors inside. So you take that, you know, and you twist it into a ground. So this is like a 2-wire, like kind of like entrance cable. So yeah, but it's copper with tin on the outside of it, which is, you know, a little bit higher quality than what we use today. Again, I wouldn't use this anymore, but you know, this is decent quality stuff for when it was made. But yeah, so that everything in here looks relatively okay. Let me close this guy back up. One issue with it is, if you look, the fridge pushes back, and then you're not going to have your clearance, your proper clearance for this panel. You know, you might have a few inches in front of it because the fridge actually plugs in here. And then if you look at this switch, you don't want the fridge to go in front of that switch. So, you know, the fridge is going to come to right about here. You might be able to squeeze your hand in, but I doubt you'd be able to fully swing this door with the fridge put where it needs to be. So, and then also, again, this is a kitchen, so that's not great to have a kitchen, have your panel located in your kitchen. Less than ideal. The breakers here, the height is, it's a little high for the size panel that it is, but it's not the worst. So that is pretty much most of the things that we were concerned with. In this room here, we have several circuits that are reverse polarity. So take a peek. It says reverse polarity, and you got the flashing red light. Again, reverse polarity over here. Yep, same deal. And if I remember correctly, I think this one is okay. Yes, correct. All right. So another issue. There's multiple outlets that do not have ground here. So some of them do, some of them don't. This outlet here, if you want to take a peek, it has no ground port on the bottom. So we wouldn't even be able to plug the plug tester in. It's going to need to be rewired, so we didn't bother opening it up. We're just going to tell the customer because it has no ground to the outlet itself. So, thanks for stopping by, guys. Wanted to bring you along on a little peek at how we, give a comprehensive overlook of what a customer's going to want to look out for, giving them a full idea of the state of the electricity in their home. Again, thanks for stopping by. Tune in for the next one. Till then, take care.